Morning, everybody. It is Monday, March 26th, and we are on review lesson 116, and we are reviewing lessons 101 and 102. Lesson 101, God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will for me is perfect happiness, and I can suffer, but from the belief there is another will apart from his. And then 102 says, I share God's will for happiness for me. I share my Father's will for me, his Son. What he has given me is all I want. What he has given me is all there is. So on the hour, we say, God's will for me is perfect happiness. And on the half hour, I share God's will for happiness for me. Last day in New York, heading back to Virginia. Let's see what Magdalene has to say to us this morning. Okay. Greetings, beloveds. As God brought forth his creation, that is humanity, there was a process of bringing forth all aspects of the God self for all beings to experience. And in that, what was granted, quite naturally, as an expression of the love of God, is the state of happiness. What is happiness, you may ask? Happiness is a state where you are free from judgment, you are free from pain, you are free from guilt, you are free from shame, you are free from holding on to grievances, things that have been upsetting. There is a free flow of energy that comes and goes in this state of happiness, in this state of joy. There's a sense of bliss that occurs. And this is indeed the divine birthright of each being that has chosen to experience itself within this realm, within this dynamic of duality. There is also the side of shadow in which the egoic mind has projected out onto the universe that there are things that must be experienced that are the dark side: unhappiness, poverty, sadness, fear, guilt, shame, brutality, anguish. In the choice to experience any of these states of beingness, any of these emotions, beloveds, it is meant to be experienced as if walking through a doorway, walking through a portal, and then one comes to the other side, and there is experience of pure joy and pure bliss, and indeed this state of happiness. What occurs along the way, beloveds, is that because of the profound experience of these moments, there are many times that we become stuck and mired within these feelings. We say we do not want to feel this. We say we do not want to have to deal with this, to experience this. And in that very moment of rejection, the exact opposite occurs. In the moment that you reject anything that you are feeling, beloved, you then become stuck with it. So it is in the process of allowing yourselves to move through the essence of each exquisite moment of existence that you are then released from it. And indeed, this sounds like the exact opposite and the antithesis of what one would expect would occur. But if you can bring a state of happiness to each and every moment of existence, if you can say, walking through this, as if you were walking through a mist, experiencing this, allowing this to occur, is what will provide me the freedom to come back to the most natural state of beingness, which is indeed happiness and joy. It seems as if it might be a backward solution, beloveds. But yet, that is the way in which this universe was created. So as you allow yourself the experience of saying, the very thing I feared, I will now embrace. The very thing that I have hated, I will now love. The very thing that I have resisted, I will now embrace. You find yourself having come through to the other side, and you are still present. You are still alive. You are still joyous. You are still at peace. There is love. There is always love, beloveds. But indeed, many times there is a misunderstanding of what it is to truly love, to truly experience happiness. And so we will struggle. We will seemingly argue. There is no arguing that is necessary, beloved. There is actually the willingness to experience what it is that God has intended all along. For God's will for us is happiness, is peace. Happiness is a statement that can be made. It is an intent. It is a way of walking through the world. If you approach each circumstance and each being, and each feeling that you have, saying, this is what it is meant to be, you will find yourself. You will find yourself in a state of happiness. You will find yourself in a state of bliss. You will find yourself in a state of purity and grace, because what you have done is decided to create for yourselves through intention, through sheer will and desire, the very essence of your beingness, which is pure love. And right next to the love is the happiness. And when you allow yourself to live within the grace of this state, by saying, I commit and I devote my life to being happy, the universe gathers around you and says, this being has chosen happiness. It is well known what it is that you desire. And what it is that you desire will start to come forth to you and for you. For you will then have the experience of what it is to be supported, of what it is to be loved. And all that is required of you, beloveds, is for you to allow. And in that allowing, to surrender and to fall back into the arms of grace, into the arms of love, into the arms of happiness. And that is indeed God's will. Try this out today, beloveds. Allow yourself to sample what it is to be loved by God. And in the moments when you forget, in the moments when you doubt, allow yourself to come to stillness and say, please show me how to return once again to my happiness, for I seem to have lost my way. And there will indeed be assistance that will come for you. There will indeed be assistance that will say, joyfully and joyously, let us lead you back to the place of love. And that, beloveds, is always within. So allow not for your journey to be outside of you. Instead, endeavor today to go within and to allow love to lead you back. And the end result of that will be your happiness. For what happier moment is there than to be deeply in love with yourself and with all that surrounds you? We love you. We bless you always. And we will speak with you again. Thanks for being here this morning, everyone. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.